Good morning and welcome to our journalism broadcast program. I'm one of your hosts, Christian Compton.
And I'm your co-host, Caitlin Sanderson.
And many of you may have watched the 88th Annual Academy Awards. If you did not, I'm sure you heard about the firestorm concerning racial diversity through the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite. We have a student panel here today to discuss the topic.
Today our panel consists of junior Trevon Clark, junior Naomi Tellez-Duran, and sophomore Catarina Gonzalez. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Wonderful. Now, we're just going to go ahead and start with a generalized question for anybody. What do you guys make of the whole controversy, just in general? Anybody?
I say some people been robbed, and that's how I feel, because they work so hard for just to not receive anything.
Right, not even a nod or a nomination.
So,
And some of these movies are so good that they weren't even nominated. So
I mean, just a nomination would have been fine.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of those films. What films and actors are we talking about here, so the audience knows?
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton?
That was
All right,
really
yeah. You saw it?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it? Did you like it? Did you think
Yeah.
that? Now, I know that movie was critically acclaimed, so it's a bit of a surprise what you say that it didn't receive even a nomination,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, at the Oscars. What are any other films that you guys think were not necessarily snuffed, but you know, they could have at least received a nod from the Academy?
Star Wars. Because Star Wars is one of the highest grossing. The Force Awakens was actually one of the highest grossing movies of last year. Was it this year? One of the years, right?
Right. It would. I believe it would be this year.
Yeah, it
I
was this
suppose,
year.
but so far.
And they made over, I think, $1 billion. So I would expect it to get a nomination.
Mhm. And Star Wars did actually have a black actor in its main role.
And he was a stormtrooper.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about the film Creed? Anybody watch that? I didn't get a chance. It's for those of you who don't know, it was a boxing film starring Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a spiritual successor to the film Rocky, which won.
It's Paul Creed's son.
Right. It won like 2 or 3 Oscars, I believe, back in when it first debuted. So, what do you make just of what do you think was the Academy's rationale behind not nominating these actors, not nominating these films?
Maybe the mentality of the people that nominated them, you know, it's their mentality is focused on race and not like the talent or, you know, how good the movie is and stuff like that.
Because Sylvester Stallone was nominated for best what's it called?
Best actor or something?
No, it was co-actor, whatever it's called.
Oh, right. Best supporting actor.
Supporting
I think.
actor, yeah. And Michael B. Jordan, I think, did a very better job than Sylvester did. So,
Mhm.
and he wasn't even nominated.
And I think the director of that film actually boycotted. Did he not? Do you know? I believe the director boycotted because he also directed the film Fruitvale Station, which also a lot of people said was snuffed back when it came out with the Oscars again. So, Naomi, I want to hit on your point a little bit. You talked about the mentality of some of the Oscars voters. What do you mean specifically by that? Do you think that they're focusing too much on race, or that they're not focusing enough on that, or they're not taking those things into consideration?
Well, I think they're not, you know, they're focusing too much on the color of your skin and not on the talent that the actor displays or, you know, pretty much the talent that the actor displays and how good the actor performs. They're focusing on, hey, my color is black or mine is tan, and so I'm not going to nominate you for that, you know?
Right.
Now, what do you think the Oscars could do to promote racial diversity in their nominations?
I don't know, maybe change the mentality. Change the mentality on
What about
how
you
they
guys?
think.
What do you guys think?
I'm going to disagree with that. Not necessarily a race thing. I think some of these, you said 8,000 people are chosen.
Right, there are 8,000 people who vote for the Oscar nominations.
So I'm not
roughly.
sure, because like, I wouldn't say it was a matter of a racial thing. Like, it's a matter of what they like. Because if I see a preview, if I don't like it, I'm not going to watch it.
Right.
So I just think it probably something like that.
So I want to make sure I understand. So you're saying that maybe some of the films that black actors took a predominant leading role in maybe didn't appeal to the Oscar voters because of because I do know the racial makeup of the Oscar voters has been criticized because the predominant portion of the voters is a white voting base. Or is it possible that maybe the films don't appeal to them and that they're not watching it accordingly?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Right. Now, and what do you guys think of, is that a problem? You think that they should have to give more films, consideration, or should it be about,
Yeah.
right?
Especially this Oscars this year, because I know a lot of people have not even seen or heard of most of the movies that were nominated.
Mhm.
And I think they should be more open-minded.
Yeah, not
to
just
different things, not to, I think they always watch constantly.
Right, yeah, because films about films, I know, tend to win a lot. Historical dramas, they tend to be favored very heavily, whereas a lot of genres, Straight Outta Compton is considered I guess a biographical drama almost. And those films actually normally are the ones that get nominated. So it really, if you look at it, it almost would seem like the only difference between something like Straight Outta Compton and any of the other biographical films out there was that this one starred black actors. So what do you guys make of that? Do you think that was the major difference there, or do you think something else prevented that film from getting nominated?
What I said prevented the film get nominated probably because it's a true story,
Mhm.
and it's a true story about race.
Very true.
the NWA has had an impact in the
Yeah.
music industry.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people didn't want to hit on that because
Right. Well, they wanted to avoid controversy there. I understand, and that is a valid point. So now, Catarina and Trevon, both of you are students in Lakewood's own theater program, correct? Or at least you were at some point. Now, from your unique perspective as a student, and you do come from a racially diverse background, so as a student actor, what do you make of? What does that give any sort of new perspective to the issue at hand? Do you think it affects you if you plan on going into acting as a career?
Yeah, because if I work actually so hard for a movie and it's a really good movie and people like it and not even be nominated, I'd be mad. So. I really would. I work so hard for it.
Right.
And drama, we work so hard, and just I can only imagine how people feel not even getting a nominee. Because like Will Smith, for instance, he figured that he would at least get nominated for his movie, but he didn't. So.
Right, and Will Smith starred in the film Concussion, right? Was that what it's called? Okay. And he did receive quite a few nods from other award ceremonies too. You want to talk about maybe what you think, what's different from the Academy that's, why couldn't they nominate a black actor or an actor of any non-white background for that matter, whereas the Critics' Choice Awards, for example, could nominate an overwhelming margin of people of color. What do you guys think? Is there a difference there, or is it just?
I'm not sure what the problem is, because
right.
If other award shows can do it, why can't the Oscars do it?
Right.
There shouldn't be a
preliminary reason is there for the Oscars not to, nominate people of color?
if you look at the Oscars, the host and co-hosts are all black, so.
Right.
So I don't know what the problem is.
Right.
Is it only co-hosts that could be, people of color, or is there a problem with nominating people of color?
Mm-hmm.
Now, to take a little bit of a different subject, what do y'all think about Leonardo DiCaprio winning his first Oscar?
Yeah,
I think that's a success for him. I think he was reaching for that, and that's an accomplished goal.
that's why I'm kind of trying to take away from the racist standpoint, because he actually tried hard. He actually had some good movies in the past that didn't get nominated. So
Exactly.
And, actually, I want to hone in on something specific. I was reading an article, I'm not sure where I read it at, but it was saying that, this was not the film that Leonardo DiCaprio should have been nominated for. They were saying that his performance in the film actually did not warrant an Academy Award, and that maybe it was given to him just out of, we could finally give Leo an Oscar. But what do you guys think? Do you think that some of his other films were more deserving, or?
I actually did watch Revenant, and I did not like his character. I did like Tom Hardy's character. So.
Well, what do you like about it?
I don't know. I didn't understand it at first. So it was kind of really boring.
Right.
Because I didn't know what it was about, and I had read about it. And it was It was a historical movie apparently.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's supposed to be. And I don't know. I just like Tom Hardy. He was like the bad guy. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Titanic was also historical, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
see why that didn't get an Oscar.
And I want to say the Titanic, the film itself did win the Oscars for Best
Yeah,
Original
just not
him,
Screenplay.
just
Right,
not-
but not
It's
him.
not
So,
the actor,
and-
yeah.
The movie probably was too
Leading
long
actor.
for it.
Yeah.
yeah. And that has happened to him a lot, actually. He's been in several films that I can recall that, where the
Can't
film
make
won,
just
but he
stop.
didn't actually win. So, right. So, anybody want to add anything about Leo before we move on back to the
I would
racial
just say
system?
it's a goal accomplished, you know, it's an accomplished goal for him, so
Right.
we should applaud him for that.
All right, now to kind of help guide the conversation a little bit, we're now going to go to a clip from the Academy Awards. It's a brief segment from the host, who was Chris Rock. It's a part of his opening monologue, so we're going to use that as a kind of a guideline for our discussion. We're going to go there now.
Her man, Will, was not nominated for concussion. I get it. It's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay? You know, it's not about boycotting anything. It's just we want opportunity. And not just once. You know, Leo gets a great part every year. But what about the black actors? What about Jamie Foxx? Jamie Foxx is one of the best actors in the world. Jamie Foxx was so good in Ray that they went to the hospital and unplugged the real Ray Charles.
So as you can see, Chris Rock obviously made some very funny statements there, which some people have found to be controversial. Let's go to our panel again to talk about that. Anybody want to open the discussion now on Rock's monologue?
I feel like he was trying to be blunt about the situation, but trying to be funny at the same time, trying to get his point across. So,
You think he did a good job?
yeah.
What about you?
I think he did, because the part where he said, we need opportunity, we do need opportunity, everybody deserves an opportunity regardless of your skin color, you know, like I said, the mentality is the thing that counts and the talent that people have.
Mm-hmm. Catarina? Did you think that Rock did a good job with the monologue?
Yeah, I think he did get his point across very well.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now, let's talk just for a second about the people who found it controversial. So, some people thought that there was no place for mentioning race at the Oscars at all. They thought that even to mention it was just completely absurd. What do you guys say to that?
I think that it was actually very necessary to notice the non-diversity,
Mm-hmm.
because even the black actors that were nominated, they still win. So they saw like all the white actors get these Oscars, and they're like, you know, I could have won this Oscar, but I wasn't even nominated or thought of for this.
And
Right.
you know, it's good that somebody was speaking out for all of them, you know, on behalf of all of them, you know, hey, why didn't we get a nomination? We think we did a really wonderful job, you know.
And some of these movies, they did, so.
Right. All right. Any closing thoughts from you guys? You want to just kind of wrap up what you said? Yes, no?
Well, I just think, you know, the mentality needs to be there for everybody. Like I said before, the mentality needs to be there, and we have, like Chris Rock said, we need opportunity, you know, and racial diversity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything from you?
I just want to touch upon, you know, it's not a sense of winning the Oscars, it's a sense of being nominated.
Right. At least being considered, getting the chance to win. Right.
And equality also.
Mm-hmm. Katarina, anything further? Nothing? All right. Well, thank you guys so much once again for tuning in to our journalism broadcast program. We really hope you enjoyed this segment. We always work very hard to put it together for you. Just a quick reminder, as usual, we welcome all feedback, questions, comments, requests to be on the show, whatever. You can email lakewoodbroadcastprogram@gmail.com. Once again, lakewoodbroadcastprogram@gmail.com. Or see myself, Caitlin, Naomi, or Miss Lucas. Anybody related to the broadcast you can see, and we'll get you squared away. So also that's if you have any ideas for topics. If you're a part of a club and you want to feature something, you're more than welcome to come on our show. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry. Once again, I'm one of your hosts, Christian Compton.
And I'm your co-host, Caitlin Sanderson.
And we hope everyone has a great day. Thank you for tuning back into our journalism broadcast program. I'm one of your hosts, Christian Compton.
And I'm your co-host, Naomi Tellez-Duran.
And we're now going to bring you an informational segment on the American Heart Walk Talent Showcase, which will be held this Friday, March 11th. Coming on to talk to you about that is Miss Catarina Gonzalez.
Good evening here, Catarina.
You want to just tell the students everything they need to know about the showcase for us?
Okay, so it is a talent showcase, of course, and it's this Friday, and the tickets are $3 in bookkeeping. They will give you the ticket, and it's just a whole bunch of students performing like dance. We will have drama performances, poetry, people singing, hopefully, and some people play their instruments too, so it should be fun, yeah, hopefully.
And students, you can contribute to the American Heart Walk Association by purchasing one of these hearts for $1. You can see Mrs. Gwendolyn Perry, Mrs. Jennings, or Miss Lucas Parker if you're interested. Only $1.
Once again, please don't miss out on this opportunity to come see the raw talent here at Lakewood, and you're also contributing to a good cause simultaneously. So thank you so much for tuning into this informational segment. We hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.